Michael, we better start with the injury. You probably hate speaking about injuries, but at least you're on the way back.
Yeah, the last couple of days I've been back in training with the group, which has been nice and always refreshing. So it's been frustrating to say the least, a bit stop-start for us since I joined the club, but we're kind of over the kind of worst of it now, if you like, in terms of getting back in and reintegrating with the group. So just trying to get myself back up to speed, and hopefully maybe this time next week I'll be ready to go.
How are you finding it as a club so far?
It's been brilliant. Obviously I've had past experience with the manager and the assistant, so I know how they operate. I know the mentality and what they expect day to day, and also come a match day. So I think knowing that they're here and what they expect and where they want the club to go, as well as the chairman and everything else that's expected of the club at the moment, I think it's a really exciting place to be, and that's certainly been kind of evident in the time that I've been here.
This will be a big game this weekend against a team you know very well.
Yeah, it's going to be. It'll be nice to see some familiar faces, but it'll be a real tough test for us. We know exactly what we're going to face against Livingston Saturday, and no one knows that better than I do. But the Gaffer and Witzel have done their preparation, their analysis. They'll have looked at strengths and weaknesses, and we've been working on that Monday to Friday to try and ultimately implement what they've taken from the analysis and how we put that in practice against Livingston Saturday.
I was wondering in the summer, and I guess a lot of people were wondering what we would get from Livingston this season, having dropped out after surviving for years on end in the top league. I just wondered whether they might be on a downward spiral rather than bouncing straight back, but certainly they've started the campaign pretty well. Yeah,
I think just on that, Rob, I think they've got a manager who doesn't know anything else other than to kind of come out fighting, and I think that certainly my conversations with him towards the end of the season, that was certainly how he was approaching the situation. Of course, we were really disappointed for the season to end the way it did. However, the manager was full of enthusiasm, and like I said, that's what he's done, and the full time he's been at Livingston has proved people wrong, and ultimately come back from when they've kind of had a bit of a backward step. So I had no doubt that they would go again. They would recruit well, as they generally do, and they've got a strong side, I think, at this level, but full of experience, and a couple of really important players that they brought in the summer, I think, who are already showing their value in that team. So I think that there was always a kind of question of how that team is going to do when they've came down, and probably Livingston found themselves last year in a kind of routine of losing, whereas it's the opposite this way, and I'm sure that's exactly what the manager there would have wanted.
Having been part of that Livingston setup, you were captain as well. What do you have to do against Livingston? What are the important things to get right against Livingston?
I think first and foremost you have to stand up and fight. I think you have to be competitive all over the pitch. You need to win your individual battle, and win your battle within the team. Tactically, you need to be astute. They'll be organised. They'll be hard to break down. I think they've had numerous clean sheets already and a pretty settled back four. So I think we know that the basics and the fundamentals of football will be challenged on Saturday, and we need to be ready for that. And from that point on, then we try and impose our game onto Livingston and look at what we can do to impact the game.
It's Falkirk, Ayr, Livingston at the top at the moment. Is that the way it's going to stay? Because this is, as you well know, a crazy league. Are there going to be others going to be pitching in as well, do you think?
I think so. It's so hard to tell, Rob. I think at this moment in time, I think the three that are there look three strong sides. However, the Championship is so up and down, and I think anyone on the day can beat anyone. And you look at the last couple of years, the teams that have been at the top, Wraith Rovers and Partick Thistle, you would never write them off. They get a run of results together that can quickly close that gap. So I think for us, despite where we sit currently at the moment, which is the right end of the table for us this year, we want to focus on ourselves and make sure that we are winning games of football, and that we are trying to build confidence, have a strong mentality and a strong understanding of what's been asked. And if we do that, concentrate on ourselves, then the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, you'd have liked to be back against your old team, but we'll look forward to seeing you back hopefully the following weekend. Good talking to you.
Thanks, Rob.